Okay, folks, good evening. It is Tuesday evening, June the 17th. We're back home now. We're actually headed down past Hickory, down towards Charlotte. In fact, we're going to Charlotte tonight. Going to do something that we've never done before, and that's we're going to a Charlotte Knights minor league baseball game. They are the AAA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you, I don't really care anything about the Charlotte Knights. Never have gone to see them before. Reason I'm going tonight is, let's go back a few years. Let's go back to July 28th, 1979. This lady right here was 2 years old. This fella right here was 10 years old. And that was the first time in my life I ever went to a Major League Baseball game. My dad and my uncle got together and decided to take myself and his children down to Atlanta, Georgia, to what was then Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, which is now a parking lot. And we were going to go to a Major League Baseball game. Now, that's the night I became a fan of baseball. I did not know a thing about baseball. I couldn't have told you 5 teams that existed before that. I knew the Braves, the Yankees, and a few others that you would hear about a lot. But that year, I fell in love with the game of baseball because of going to that game on July 28, 1979. I'd been to Atlanta many times on our trips to Florida, so we went to see the Atlanta Braves versus the Cincinnati Reds. The Atlanta Braves were not good at the time at all. Cincinnati Reds were good at the time. You've heard the term Big Red Machine if you follow baseball. That's when that time period was. So in the last year, and by the way, the Braves lost that game 8-6. Still remember the score. I remember Gary Matthews hit 2 home runs for the Braves. That was the exciting part for them that day. But if you remember last year, it'll be a year ago this coming weekend. In fact, a year ago, almost to the day of this coming weekend, I met a former Atlanta Brave in the state of Pennsylvania. He is from there, lives there. Went out to eat with him. He was very generous, bought our meal. He gave me a baseball, and that Atlanta Brave was Gene Garber, and he is the man who infamously stopped Pete Rose's 44-game hitting streak the year before I went to my first game, and that was in August of 1978. Pete Rose had a 44-game hitting streak. That came to an end when Gene Garber struck him out in the 9th inning. Braves won the game 16-5, I believe. Pete Rose's streak came to an end. As most of you know, Pete Rose passed away just a few months back. Hate to hear that. But I had the privilege of sitting down with Gene Garber, talking to him extensively. He signed some baseball cards. He bought my supper that night. And that came about because a viewer of this channel is his pastor. And that was just one of the thrills of my life. So almost a year later, at that time, who became my favorite Atlanta Brave in the early 1980s was number 3, Dale Murphy. And both Gene Garber, who I met last year, and Dale Murphy, who I'm hoping to meet tonight, played in that game in 1979, my first game ever. Both of them played in it. I looked up the box score because I didn't remember if Gene pitched or not, but he did. So, two Atlanta Braves in a year, hoping to meet. They're having a meet and greet. Dale Murphy's going to be there tonight. I'm just going to say this. It's a travesty that he's not in the Hall of Fame. He had Gold Glove awards. He had several years in a row 30-plus home runs. He had a year where he hit 36 home runs, stole 30 bases. There was actually a title for that, on the second Atlanta Brave ever to do that at that time. He was MVP a couple years. He was regarded by other players as the best player in baseball during that time period. Several players said he was the best player they'd ever seen. And he's not in the Hall of Fame. He finished with 398 career home runs. Something tells me if he'd hit 2 more and just hit the number 400, that might have made a difference, but he ought to be in there anyway. He accomplished enough to be in it. He was also known as one of the cleanest living ball players of all time, somebody who actually cared about the example he set. He was known as somebody who did not curse, did not drink, did not smoke, did not chew. They even said that he would often take his teammates out to eat and pick up the tab, but if they wanted alcohol, they had to pay for that themselves. He wouldn't buy them alcohol. Also, he was known as somebody who refused to conduct an interview in the locker room if it was a female reporter, because he didn't think females ought to be in the locker room when men are changing clothes. He was very well known as being a moral person. So I liked him growing up. I met him one time in my life, and he signed my ball glove, and I don't have any idea where that ball glove is. So I thought, he's going to be in Charlotte. It's worth the trip to Charlotte. So hopefully the next thing you see will be the ball stadium and me meeting Dale Murphy. So stay tuned. All right, so we're in line here at Truist Field here in Charlotte, right downtown. All right, so there is the field here at Truist Field, and the line to meet Dale Murphy goes all the way back and wraps around down there. We're up here. And that is the Murph there in the white jersey sitting down. Mr. Dale Murphy himself.
Okay, so we're in line, and there he is signing. We're getting closer. And we're also behind the announcers here.
So y'all have seen me wear this on our Florida trips when we go down. He's going to sign it, and it's never going to be worn again. It's going to be framed, and I'm going to buy me another one. This is the kind, the red, white, and blue that they wore in the early 1980s. It's not the same color as the Braves use today. So this is going in a frame.
We're going to let her get in the wheelchair, and we're going to come through.
I know Okay, so now this is my son Dylan, our oldest son that lives here in Charlotte in the blue hat. We're gonna get him getting
Stars and Stripes.
There you go.
I like that.
And his girlfriend Brittany. So he's gonna get Dale Murphy's. He's heard about Dale Murphy from me his whole life, so he's getting to meet him now. Oh, that's my son. I just kind of
Okay, yeah, you go right ahead, man.
Thank you.
No, I'm gonna sit right. No, do the regular portrait. Not yet, not yet. We're looking.
Another little fun fact we didn't know till we got to the stadium tonight. Number 7 on first base for the Gwinnett, the Braves farm in the Gwinnett Stripers. That's Jurickson Profar. He's been in our backyard and in our kitchen. He used to play for the Crawdads. Our son worked for the Crawdads. They became friends, and the Braves signed him this year. He's back in the minors for now, but he has actually been to our house, and that was in 2011.
And
We didn't know he was
I struck him out twice
in wiffle ball.
Well, now you got to explain. So Dylan made a wiffle ball field in our backyard and invited them
I
up.
interrupted Fenway Park from leftover Green Meadow Lutheran. I invited him. He didn't have a driver's license from Curacao. So Ellen Deglan and Jared Sikofor came over. We played wiffle ball. I struck Jared out twice. And he took me deep once. I took him deep once. And me and him, we were good buddies. It was 2011. He was the #1 prospect.
You worked for the Crawdads. And
Yeah, it was my first job.
And he came up in the Texas
My
Rangers
first
organization.
job ever was that boy for the Crawdads. And me and him, rain delays, we would wrestle in the clubhouse. I was 15, he was 18, same size, bodybuilder at that time. I could flatten him now.
Very nice, Dylan.
Back then, it was a little more deep. And yeah, really good buddies.
All right, great.
And so we didn't know he was going to be here. We didn't know he was playing for Gwinnett. Or I didn't.
And
Did you know he was with Gwinnett?
no, because his batting average is now 500. He was .00. This is his first game at Gwinnett. It has to be his first game.
27 McCann. That would not be Brian McCann's son, right?
No, it's not. But the guy batting now is Jared Kelnick, who started with the Braves. The man cannot hit anything on the middle, outside part of the plate. This is my grievance. Put it in your video. Jared Kelnick spent the first month and a half with the Atlanta Braves. There's a reason he's in Gwinnett now. We signed Alex Verdugo because Jared Kelnick cannot hit.
Okay.
Thank you,
Breaking
Dylan.
ball low in him, he can hit it in the
He should be a sports
I don't know if this is all picking up or not, so hopefully so.
You need a YouTube channel. Where you do
That makes me definitely want to go too. That could be fun.
Good for the Charlotte Knights. They're building on the to shake. Let me hear you. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Okay, well, thank you so much for watching what's been probably the most exciting event that I've done since last June when I met another Atlanta Brave. That was tonight when I met Dale Murphy, who was #3 center field for the Atlanta Braves back in the early 1980s, and then last year met Gene Garber, who was, of course, the relief pitcher that is famous for ending Pete Rose's hitting streak. I've gotten to meet 2 former Atlanta Braves in the last year, almost to the exact same weekend, because last year was my birthday weekend. My birthday is 2 days from now. And I looked back at the stats. I don't know if I told this in the intro or not. That's been several hours ago. That the first baseball game I ever went to, both Gene Garber and Dale Murphy played in that game. And got to meet both of them in the last year. So tonight I was thrilled to find out that Dale Murphy was going to be in Charlotte. So I wasn't going to miss that unless I just had to. So we came down to Charlotte tonight, and I want to thank our viewer Tony Lashman for tagging me on a Facebook post, or I wouldn't have known Dale Murphy was going to be in Charlotte tonight. So it originally, he tagged me, and I read the post, and it said that he was going to be at Truist Field, is it? Or
Field.
Well, I'm thinking Truist Park, where the Braves play outside of Atlanta, and I'm thinking I can't go to Atlanta on a Tuesday night and work the next day. But it wasn't. It was Truist Field here in Charlotte, where the Charlotte Knights minor league team plays. So they had a meet and greet with Dale Murphy tonight. I was going to go to that. I have a Dale Murphy jersey. You see me wear it. Usually on the day we go to Florida in August, I'll wear that down because we go through Atlanta, and that's the day I like to wear it. I don't really wear it any other time of the year. So I decided tonight I'm going to have him to sign it. So he did. It was very thrilling. I want to thank my wife here because Shaughnessy got online today and got us the best tickets. Our tickets, we could have just turned around and waved at him where he was sitting signing autographs. And we were in the shade. We had a good view of the city, good view of the ball field, perfect tickets, right there by the restrooms, right there by the concessions. So you did all that legwork today, so thank you for that. Just an amazing experience for me tonight. I was kind of like, I don't know if the word's giddy or whatever, but I just could not believe I was shaking Dale Murphy's hand. So I go through and get my autograph. And then if you notice in the video, when he looks over at me and gives me a thumbs up, that's cause tell him what you had just told him that made him do that.
I told him, I says, I have heard so many great stories about you because of this man right over here, and I pointed at Derek, because Derek had just went through the line, so then it's like I pointed, it's like that made him feel good. You could tell he was happy about that, because he had like looked at Derek and was like, yeah.
I met him one time in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium back in, it had been the 1980s, and he signed a baseball glove, and I have no idea where that baseball glove is. It's long gone. So I could say I met him, but tonight I can prove it. I got my jersey signed. But I want to say just how personable he was. I went, as I was going through the line, I didn't know if he would shake hands or not, but I noticed he's shaking everybody else's hand. So I said, first of all, you were my boyhood hero as an Atlanta Brave. He says, oh, really? And he very humble about that. And I said, and I also had supper with Gene Garber, one of your former teammates. And he just, like, he says, how is Gene doing? He said, where did you see him at? And I told him it was in Pennsylvania. And he says, yeah, I know he lives up there. And I went back through the line later and talked to him again when my son was there. And I showed him the screenshot of Gene and I sitting there at the table. And he asked me, he says, are you going to be seeing him again anytime soon? And I said, well, I'm planning on going up there maybe next summer. So hopefully, he says, if you do, pass my greetings on to him. So he seemed genuinely happy that he had gotten to see a picture of Gene and I. Just an all-around nice guy. So what did you think of the experience? Because you were never a baseball fan, but you've heard the name Dale Murphy probably about 6,342 times over the years.
I heard it a lot, yeah. So I was really happy. So yeah, when we heard about it, you know, he had talked to our son about it, and anyway, then it kind of just nothing was said. And so last night, when I got home from work, I'm like, "Are we going? What's the plan?" You know, so we got online and was looking, and we found tickets. It's actually it was all-you-can-eat buffet plus a private meet and greet. It was $125 a person.
And I wasn't going to pay that.
We're not going to do that. So I ended up calling the ball field, talking with a really nice lady. She was telling me the times he's going to be on the concourse signing, and so it just worked out that we got to be there, not too far in line, back in line, I should say. And I was just really happy for him because I knew that was something he really wanted to do. And I'm thankful for the ladies at work that let me leave a little early today too.
So we could get down here for that, yeah.
Yes, I could get down here, and so yeah, everything worked out good. I even told him too. I said we had just a little bit of backup traffic coming into Charlotte, but I said 5 o'clock rush hour. Thankfully, we didn't. Just that, like I said, that little bit of backup. You know, but otherwise we'd been a great time. So it just everything worked out really nice, and then getting to sit and visit with our son and stuff. It was a funny thing.
Yeah, Charlotte's not my favorite place in the world anyway, and it's certainly not my favorite place around 5 o'clock p.m., which is about the time we hit it.
Mm-hmm.
But we were able to get there. But it was an amazing experience tonight. I know, you know, it kind of, and I don't want to get emotional or anything. It's kind of, when you think about that, when you get my age, you start thinking back about those days in your life when you were young. And I was in 1982. That's when the Braves really started to become good. I've always loved the Braves. I was 13 years old in 1982, and Dale Murphy is like 14 years older than me. He's 69 now. He was in his late 20s then, and that's when I first just became a fan. And I look back now, I'll be 56 in 2 days, and he's 69, and it just makes you think how fast the years go by, how fast life goes by. And that's one reason we emphasize knowing Christ and being ready to meet him, because it don't seem like it's been that many years ago. It does not seem like it's been over 40 years ago, but it has. And but it was an amazing experience tonight. To see my favorite, and I say favorite, I had a lot. I was a Johnny Bench fan. I liked the Reds also. My favorite American League team was the Baltimore Orioles, but I've always just, the Braves have been it for me. And just seeing one of my favorite players ever to play the game, one of the best players to ever play the game, should be in the Hall of Fame. It's a travesty that he's not. But anyway, it was a great experience tonight, so I'm happy that I was blessed to see it. So anyway, I know there's a lot of talking in this video, but I wanted to share it because our Facebook post, when I posted it on Facebook from the stadium, and we were getting a lot of comments from other people that said that he was my favorite player growing up. And other teams said, you know, I pulled, or other people that comment said I pulled for other teams, but we always liked Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy was somebody you just didn't not like. You know, he was just known as a decent human being. So anyway, very happy for that tonight. So thank you, Tony. And if you like this video, like and subscribe.
Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Find and follow us on Facebook.
Have a blessed day.